Mga kwentong maghahatid ng inspirasyon at aral sa mundo ng palakasan. Sa programang Bida ang Atletang Pilipino, ito ang DZRH TV Matchpoint. Nagsimula sa pangarap hanggang sa maabot ang tagumpay. Iba't ibang kwento, iba't ibang mukha ng atletang Pilipino. Mas pinatindi, mas pinalakas, at mas pinaaksyon. DZRH TV Matchpoint. Ngayong araw, pag-uusapan natin ang apat na natitirang teams sa 50th season ng PBA Philippine Cup. Ang Barangay Ginebra San Miguel Beermen, TNT Tropang 5G, at ang Rain or Shine Elasto Painters. At kasama si 49 PBA Philippine Cup champion at Meralco Bolts coach Luigi Trillo, hihimayin natin ang iba't ibang lagay ng mga naturang teams sa pagtapak ng mga ito sa semifinals, maging ang kanilang edge moving forward to the finals. Hi Coach! Welcome back to Matchpoint.
Yeah, glad to be here. Nice to see you again.
Hi Coach! Kumusta ka naman ngayon?
Okay naman. In vacation mode. School just started, so focus on my children. Yeah.
Ito Coach, istorbohin ka lang namin saglit dahil gusto lang naming malaman yung insights mo about sa PBA ngayon, lalo na't semifinals. Coach, unang-una, congratulations sa naging run ng Meralco for this conference. And it's been a historic ride for the team din naman last season. Your first ever Philippine Cup championship, and yun nga, nakapag-usap nga tayo about that. Ngayon, looking at this season's semis from the outside, how has the championship run changed your perspective naman as a coach?
Yeah, well, in the semifinals, it's tough. You know what I mean? Like you go through 7 games, and then when you reach the finals, you reach another 7, right? So any of those teams are capable. Sometimes you have a little bit of luck with you if, you're playing your best basketball at the time. Sometimes injuries happen. There are a lot of factors that can make or break a team entering a semifinals and a finals, right? But this is the most prestigious one. It's the All Filipino Cup. You can say if you win, you're the best team sa bansa. No?
And Coach, sabi mo na nga, we're in the 50th season of the PBA and Filipino Cup. And yung Final Four this year ay stacked with both dynasties and upstarts. And based on observation mo, ano ba yung difference ng playoff landscape ngayong season sa landscape last year? Kasi ngayon, meron tayong 3 deep championship pedigree and meron din tayong isang underdog.
Well, I think rain or shine, like you said, probably is the one you're saying underdog. Although they've made 2 semifinals, I look at the team and they're well-rounded, right? These guys aren't rookies anymore. You have some of them at the prime of their lives. They haven't gotten over the hump, which is to make the finals, right? But Coach Yen's right. They have a lot of experience. They feel like they're the underdogs. I look at them. I don't think they're the underdogs. I think they have everything with them right now. You look at Talk and Text. They've got some injuries. True, Talk and Text does have the experience. But that's you can see with the way the series is going. It's 2 veteran coaches, 2 teams that have a rich tradition. One has won back-to-back. Even with injuries, those guys are. Talk and Text is still in the hunt, considering all of that. They've added pieces. They've have Heading and Rosser, so I think that's been pivotal for them. Rain or Shine, they're a group that's been together now for a couple of conferences. They are deep. I think it's been passed down already to the younger guys. Gabe and Bo are not there anymore. So it's a young, exciting group. On the other side naman, you've got 2 tough teams. Ginebra and San Miguel. One likes to run, one's more versatile. The other one is set on dominating the ball inside to Junmar. It's exciting. Coach Leo's back against Coach Tim. Those 2 are masterminds when it comes to tactical things. It's a good semifinals. I think it's good for the PBA as well.
Ito Coach, napahapyawan mo na rin. Unahin muna natin yung San Miguel. So yung SMB ngayon, ngayong conference, meron silang best record. And it's still led by Junmar Fajardo and of course, CJ Perez. In your view, Coach, bakit mahirap talunin yung ganitong klaseng team, especially sa isang best-of-7 series?
Well, I think they're the most dominant team. I mean, you've got the dominant player in Junmar. I think last year was kind of an upset. They have the pieces. You build the team around Junmar, then you get CJ Perez, Mota Otua. These are number one picks. They've added some role players, who've been playing well, like Kwame Chongson. You've got Don Trollano, you've got Cruz, you've got Rondial. So they're a good. The chemistry is good. Coach Leo's confident in what he's done. He's led his team to a lot of championships. I think they got upset last year, but if you look at it, it's very hard not to see San Miguel at the very least semifinals, right? You have one round robin. Obviously, when you're in the round robin, the top 4 teams have that twice to beat, and then when they're in the semis, that's 7 games. You have to beat them convincingly 4 times. So normally, those things, the deeper teams in a longer series, mas mahirap talunin yun. If it's a 1-game series, a knockout game, or a best of 3, you only have to beat them twice. Right? So I think they're dominant. I think they're hungry. I think they haven't had success this whole year because the 3 conferences, they weren't there, right? So you can see the hunger's there. The question now for San Miguel, I think, is Junmar healthy? The longer Junmar plays on the court, the longer they'll attack him. The longer they'll try to get him to expose that calf injury, right? So hopefully for the San Miguel finals, Junmar is good. We don't want to see any guys get injured. You want all players there. You want San Miguel complete. You're looking at the best of the best right now. That's a really fun series for the fans. I'm sure they're excited for that series.
Powerhouse teams, and of course, marami silang key players. Pero let's talk about this guy, CJ Perez, who has taken another leap this season, leading the league pagdating sa points. And syempre, Coach, idagdag na natin yung maturity niya during clutch moments. Pero for you, ano ba yung challenge in preparing a defense to contain someone like CJ?
Yeah, it's very hard to just contain CJ, because when you contain CJ, all the weapons around you can do things, right? And I think the hard thing now is CJ is very confident. The coaching staff in San Miguel has given him a green light. You look at CJ's strength is transition, open court, to the basket. But now he's making tough shots. He's doing side step 3-point shots. It's very hard to stop a guy when he's able to attack you on the perimeter in transition, and then he's also making his threes, right? And so pick your poison. Let's say you cover on CJ, the guys rolling to the basket, or the weak side is Junmar. So they have what it takes. That's why they're a dynasty, right? And they made the necessary moves to continue to get dominant players. Like if you don't have a CJ and you only have Junmar, they get old. But they've made moves. They've gotten guys who are playing well. They've gotten Wami. They've gotten CJ. They've gotten key players in the free agency. So you may be able to make it hard for CJ, and that might be the game plan of Ginebra. But there are other guys who can do the other things for San Miguel.
Thank you so much, Coach. Now, mapunta naman tayo sa Ginebra. Ito, nabanggit mo kanila, malalim yung core ng Gene Kings pagdating sa guard lineup with Scotty Thompson and of course, Aarentos. Ano naman yung take mo dun sa backcourt duo na to pagdating sa pag-shape ng identity ng Team D's conference din sinasabi mo parang ibang Ginebra to compared sa last time?
Well, the good thing for Ginebra is before it would only be Scotty would be backing up LA, right? And they would work hand in hand. The nice thing is Scotty is getting older. They've added young pieces. I mean, best of the best. You look at Holt, you look at Aarentos. Aarentos is a once in a generational player. He's a decade player. He's that good. The thing with Ginebra now, what they have to do is they're looking for consistency from Aarentos, right? Not only offensively, but probably his decision making, his defense. That could say you could argue that's one of the better backcourts in the league, right? Scotty knows how to win. He's done it every day with the way he carries himself, the way he plays both ends of the court. The thing now for that duo is in the finals, there are other things that they have to do, right? So these are things that are not seen on the stat sheet. But Aarentos is not a rookie. He's not 22, 23. He's spread his wings in Korea. He's played the best guys there. He's played here, and he's you can see evidence on why he's special, right? I'm sure coaching staff of Ginebra is gonna get him locked in, and those two guys matter. Those two guys matter. They play a lot of minutes for Ginebra.
Mahalagang players, kumbaga talaga, yung backcourt duo na to. Pero ngayon, Coach, pag-usapan naman natin si Coach Tim Cone. Ilang beses mo na nakaharap yung sistema ni Coach Tim Cone. What makes his triangle-based approach so difficult to break down? And gaano pa ba ito ka-effective in today's fast-paced games?
Yeah, well, Coach Tim, he has a triangle. It obviously it evolves to something different. Back in the day, he used to hit the pinch post and the post and start from there. Now, like you said, it's a faster game. So sometimes in the finals, they break away from that, right? He keeps up to it, but obviously there are wrinkles and there are things that they see that are openings for them to find ways to score. The shot and Tim go back a long way. These guys know each other. So obviously the triangle evolves. In a series, it can change game plan to game plan, but he's held on to it. He's kind of revised it. He's kind of make it grow to what he likes. The thing I'm looking with Coach Tim that makes him also successful is, first of all, he's a dominant coach. He's a good coach. He gets the most from his players, but they've also had the pieces to continue to be successful. Again, I mentioned they've done a great job of making that team strong. They've added 6 new guys in the span of less than 2 years. And you're talking dominant guys. You're talking Holt, Aarentos, Rosario. These are guys that do things very well for them. They made a play on Malonzo, Gray, Goss even injured, but all these guys are young and at their prime. The oldest guys in that unit is Japet and Scotty. So it's a versatile team. It's a running team. It's a team that can switch. It's a lot of things that they can do. But make no mistake about it. It's one thing when you have talent. It's another thing when you're able to make that talent gel and sacrifice and do roles that are needed to win games, to win championships. Yun ang kagandahan ng having a coach team.
Thank you so much, Coach. Now, TNT Tropang 5G. The team had a slow start this conference pero nakahanap sila ng rhythm late in the eliminations. And one of the reasons why ay dahil nag-step up yung ilang players like Calvin Oftana and Roger Pogoy. What can you say about this team?
Yeah, well, RR has been injured for a while. Obviously, those two are big in terms of what TNT is all about. I'm amazed at Calvin Oftana's development. I mean, he's blossomed and groomed into somebody worth building the team around. In the national team, he's clutch. You can count on him. He's a good person. He's a guy with high character. RR has been there. He's done that. He's suffering a little bit now, and they not having him would think that it would hurt TNT's chances. But I think TNT has done enough. I mean, if you look at the last 3 games, they've won 2 out of 3. So they're in a position to somehow maybe get this series. At this point, it's 50-50. Rain or Shine seems like the healthier team. Coach Yang has his charges excited about spoiling the party and making it hard. I think right now, depth, Rain or Shine has it. They're playing as one. You look at Tokatex, they've got to get some big games from guys who don't get minutes. Rain Ambatak and Jason haven't been there. RR seems like he may join them. And it's a different thing when he hasn't been playing. You know what I mean? It's different when you get game practices in you. You've been involved in those games. he's coming into a situation where they've been resting him, right? So, talk and text, they look good, and they're throwing the kitchen sink in there just to make sure they have a chance to get that Grand Slam, right? But they have to pass first, rain or shine. I think this game 4 is gonna be a huge one, because if they win this, after that they'll have 3 chances to make the final. So this game 4 is critical for both teams.
Lastly, Coach, rain or shine? Considered ang team as dark horses ngayong season, pushing past higher seeds, and now nasa semis na sila. Ano yung masasabi mo sa naging dynamic ng team? Napahapyawan nyo na kanina.
Well, this team has also gone through a lot of tough times. You know what I mean? Even before Coach Yeng got there, they didn't see the semifinals. Even when Coach Yeng got there, his first few conferences, they were allowed to get some picks, right? So I think that Coach Yeng saying that it takes some time to build, and they've fallen down in that draft to potentially get some guys, and then may pick sa second round si Coach Yeng. Alam mo, he looks good. He's got a couple of second round picks. So they built through the draft, right? And now they're realizing it's a different rain or shine. It's like you don't see, Paulie or James Yap or Bo Belga or Jeff Chan or Gabe anymore. It's a new breed, right? And they've done pretty well. They're in their third, I think, semifinal. They do well in the elimination round. They're always in the top 3, top 4. But somehow, because of that, they've gotten some picks from other picks. When they traded Jeff Chan, or they traded Nampatak, or some of the other guys, they've been allowed to build. And you match those second round picks with some of the first round picks, maganda nangyayari, right? And Coach Yeng naman sa type he can develop. So I think for them, you look, when was the last time Rain or Shine won a championship? 2016. That's almost 10 years. That's close to 30 conferences. I think, they've had enough time to build. Now's their chance. Now's their chance to make their move. And they've gone through some hardships with losing those 2 semifinals. It's not San Miguel that they're in the semis against. They're against a talk and text team that has some guys out. They're not full. This is probably their best chance to come back. Like Coach Yeng said, the longer the series, the better for rain or shine.
And based sa sinabi mo, Coach, the team functions as a collective unit rather than relying sa isang star player lang. And the players usually act like they've underestimated or overlooked, which motivates them to work harder, play tougher, and prove doubters wrong. And in today's PBA, is it still sustainable to succeed without a traditional franchise player?
Well, you look at us. Nu is our franchise player, but he does the dirty work, right? So, that franchise player will have to evolve, right? I mean, if you're talking about a guy who scores, but there have been teams that have won. I mean, you look at Ginebra, Tim reaches it. The talent level is obviously top 2 in the league, but because they share the ball and it doesn't matter who scores, you normally have 6, 7 guys in double digits when they're doing well, right? Rain or Shine probably has the same philosophy. They like to move the ball. They trust everyone. Coach Yeng siguro says if you're free and you don't take it, you're gonna be in the bench with me. So lahat yan may kakayahan, di ba? At this moment in time, any of those 4 teams can win. I have the highest respect for any of those 4. I think San Miguel is, when they're healthy in the All Filipino, they're probably the toughest. But you look at the teams that probably people may think have the experience or the championship ready, Talk and Text in San Miguel, they're hurt. So it's anybody's ball game here with these 4. 4 great coaches. 4 quality teams. The teams that are hurt still have enough in their lineups to win a series. It could go anybody's way with any of these 4 teams.
Thank you so much, Coach. Lastly, Coach, I don't need you to give your prediction. Pero ano na lang sa tingin mo yung magiging deciding factor para makuha ang 50th season Philippine Cup Championship title?
I think at this point, because anybody is good and they're all capable, there's no new guy here. I think Rainer Shine's also been to the semis, the past two conferences. I think the team also that's healthy. I'd be surprised if one of those teams has a major guy out and they make it all the way. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you have Scotty injured and he's the most important guy there, or Junmar injured, right? That would be tough. I mean, I'm not a betting guy, but I'm just saying if you look at the nucleus in a 7-game series, you need guys healthy. You look in the NBA, Halliburton getting out with Indiana. Obviously, it's no effect, but you want your best players there, right? At gusto ng fans yan. You want all the teams. What you wouldn't want to see is guys getting hurt because you want everybody at their best, so you see the best players inside. So I would think the guys who make it, to me personally, is the team that probably is healthy. I'd be shocked just based on analytics and times in the league if one of the teams lose, you know, their dominant guys and they still win a championship, right? And it's capable. It's just it hasn't been done. I mean, analytics shows it hasn't been done in quite a while. I can't remember a team winning and going all the way with a couple of injuries and then still winning it, right? So for me, that's important now. You know, most especially now the semis. Maybe in the finals when game 6 or 7 you can pull off one, but series is still, there are a lot of games to be played.
Thank you so much, Coach Luigi, sa very insightful na kwentuhan. Huli na lang, Coach, baka meron kayong gustong pasalamatan o gusto niyo silang imbitahan na suportahan ng semifinals ng PBA. Of course, the upcoming finals din. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng PBA fans. You know, we all have fans from all the teams. I enjoy still watching the semifinals. I think it's nice to see the fans are passionately involved for quality teams. You know, it's nice basketball. So sana iniimbitahan ko po kayo to also go to the venue to watch it. And next year, I hope to see you guys also there for the Meralco Bolts fans. So maraming salamat po sa pagtangkilik sa PBA and see you soon.
Thank you so much, Coach. And ingat at good luck din sa iyong upcoming na ganaps. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Coach Luigi, for a very insightful and informative na kwentuhan. At sa ating mga viewer, maraming salamat sa patuloy na pagsubaybay. Marami pa tayong kwentong ihahatid na tiyak, kapupulutan ng inspirasyon at aral sa mundo ng palakasan. Ako po si Millie Borja. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, kwento ng atletang Pilipino, dito lang sa DZRH TV, Matchpoint.